Hello and welcome to Hedgewitch Hearthcraft. I'm Caitlin Rhiannon. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I'm going to be using tarot cards and oracle cards to give us an idea of the energy for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, and how we can best navigate throughout or within those energies. I'm going to be pulling 2 cards for every sign of the Western Zodiac. These don't have to be just limited to your sun signs. This can apply to any of the planetary placements in your chart. The first card that I pull will be from the mini tarot of Pagan cats, and this will give us our prediction for the week. And the second card that I pull will be from the Adventurer's Tarot Empress deck, which is an oracle deck, even though it is called in the title a tarot, kind of similar to the Psychic Tarot Oracle, which I've used in readings in the past. This is a new one. This will give us our advice for how to navigate throughout the energy of the week. At the very end, I will also be pulling a universal manifestation card. So make sure that if you are jumping ahead to the card or cards that are pulled for your sign or signs, then make sure that you are also jumping to the very end so that you can get a little bit of that extra goodness to focus your energy on for the week to come. Anyway, since it is Aries season, let's go ahead and get started with our lovely Aries. Aries, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Four of Wands reversed. So your foundation is feeling a little bit shaky. And when it comes to manifestation, there are frustrations because there is a sense that you're not achieving or building or developing what it is that you set out to achieve in the beginning. Things may feel like they are falling apart around you, and it's like you're having a hard time finding your footholds over this next week. This can provide opportunity for movement and for shaking things up, but there's a lot of frustration that comes with the reversal of this Four of Wands, because instead of having everything that you have worked for, it feels like you're still doing the work to get the rewards. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the Bard. And this is telling you that you're starting a new journey. Part of the reason that this is all falling apart around you, or it feels like it's all falling apart, the walls are coming down, is to free you from potentially limitations that you have built up around yourself, giving you an opportunity to pursue goals and dreams that maybe you haven't even considered yet, that would resonate with you more deeply than what you have been trying to make happen. This might be a week to not make things happen so much and let things happen and see where this new and renewing and refreshing and exciting energy can take you. Taurus, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Knight of Wands reversed. So there is some delays to your movement and your development and your manifestation over this next week, Taurus, and it's really frustrating. There is a sense of not having control over your energy, and because of this, you could find yourself feeling very depleted and drained and overspent over this next week. It could be that you have had to use so much of your energy, of your life force, of your resources, that over the past several weeks it has been building up, and now you are sitting at this point of just needing to recharge, needing to rest. And the most frustrating thing about this is not being able to decide what you are doing with your energy because of this. It's like universe is just knocking you flat on your back and saying, okay, here you go, it's nap time. And you don't have a lot of room to argue because you just don't have the energy to change anything right now. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Blood Hunter reversed. And this reversal asks that you... It's about asking for forgiveness. It's about letting things be right again. And if you are finding yourself incredibly burnt out, this may not be asking forgiveness from other people, but it might be up to you to ask forgiveness of yourself right now. Because there is this sense that you're pushing yourself. You've been driving yourself forward so hard that now that you're not reaching where you want to be, or that you're stalling out because you're out of power, that you're adding extra pressure, beating yourself up even more, which does not help. So the reversal of the Blood Hunter card is asking that you reinforce your boundaries so that your energy can be refilled, and give yourself kindness and compassion instead of aggressively trying to drive yourself forward. Gemini, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the King of Wands. You are connecting a lot more to your mental powers this week, Gemini, which is excellent. Air rules the sword suit, as it does rule Gemini. So this is very much connecting to your element and figuring out how to work with it and control it in a sense that is not limiting or stifling or manipulating yourself into being someone that is not you. So you're being truer to yourself over this next week, Gemini, and there is a lot of mental thought power that comes along with this. You're able to see things clearly and solve problems with a lot more finesse than you might even have expected of yourself. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this for this week is the Elemental, and the primary elemental in this deck, shown on this card, is fire. So because you are being given this fire and air energy, that combination is very explosive. And as you are connecting and controlling your mental self and working with your mind and your thoughts and not letting your thoughts control you, this fire elemental comes into your life and says, hey, have fun. Do what drives you. Connect to your fire as well as connecting to your air. And this will help you to identify and see clearly your passions, your desires, what drives you, what burns you up and fills you up with passion and excitement. And you can follow those desires and those dreams and use that fire energy to charge yourself up so that you can use your mind even more powerfully. Cancer, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Four of Wands reversed. Your energy is feeling a little unstable over this next week, Cancer, and you aren't sure what to do with it in order to balance yourself out. There is an ungroundedness and a feeling of just not knowing where you're going, not even knowing where you are right now. You're not comfortable with your environment or with your physical self or with your relationships. There is a sense of not knowing where you stand, not knowing where things are going, feeling like things are up in the air and the rug has been yanked out from under you. This reversal is really uncomfortable. It shakes things up, it breaks down your walls, which can sometimes have positive impacts, but the effect of this directly is almost always incredibly frustrating. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this, so the advice, is the Fae. And you're just being asked to go with the flow. This is an energy that flows and shifts and transforms and adapts. So as everything around you seems to be falling apart, try to recognize this as change, as a change in seasons. The leaves are all falling off of the tree, or that sort of thing. You know, something is falling away. The snow is melting. Something has to leave so that something else can come in. So try to adapt to this shifting energy and just work with it as you move forward. Leo, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Five of Wands. This is a conflict in energy. You're not getting along with people very well this week, Leo, and there is a sense that people are not getting along well with you. Nobody is listening to anyone. The back and forth is really like butting heads, pushing, and just there is aggressive resistance. There's this sense of aggression and pushing and needing to do things your way and prioritize yourself, and everyone else is looking up for their own selves. So they are also being aggressive and pushing forward for their own best interests. And if your best interests don't align with the interests of somebody else, there is a really solid chance that there could be arguments or conflict, at least energetic discomfort and tension between the two of you. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is kind of ironic. This is the Familiar. Oh, hello, Gray. My cat is coming into my lap, of course. So the Familiar. Timing. The advice that comes along with this card, and I say that it's ironic because there was that sense of conflict and feeling like nobody is really on your side. Somebody is. There is somebody in your life who has always been on your side and will never not be on your side. The Familiar card asks you to pay attention to the person or energy that has been with you every step of the way. And this can be a best friend, this can be a family member, this could be a pet. But this is somebody who's got your back through thick or thin, through thick and thin. And there is a sense of unconditional love and appreciation that comes from them for you. So maybe while you are dealing with all of this conflict with everybody else, take a moment to look and see who has been supporting you through this and give yourself permission to recognize that. You don't have to do everything on your own, Leo. So pay attention to the people who are helping you do it for yourself. Virgo, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Ten of Swords. This is one of the more stressful cards in the tarot deck. There is a sense that you are just overburdened by your own thoughts, by your own mental energy. There is so much going on in your life, in your head, in your feelings, that it's hard to handle. And the Ten of Swords can bring a sense of overwhelming grief. And it's not necessarily that you are destined to undergo some sort of traumatic experience this week, Virgo. That is not this week's prediction. But there is a really solid possibility that you're going to be dealing... Hello, my cat. My cat. That you are going to be dealing with a lot of stress that you might have thought that you've already dealt with. This is stuff that is compounded in your own mind and in your heart that you have pushed aside to deal with later. And now later is here and you have got a lot to deal with, Virgo. So try to be patient with yourself over this next week, especially as you are feeling all of this stress and grief and unhappiness or discomfort. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Companion. And when this one comes up, you're being reminded that you have people in your life that are looking out for you, that you have protections in place and people who will stand up and defend you and speak out on your behalf when you need somebody to. You have a companion, like I have my cat here, but you're asked to pay attention to this, to recognize the people in your life who are acting as pillars of support, who are letting you stand on their shoulders sometimes, if not lean on them, to get you where you need to go. So you're dealing with a lot, Virgo, but you have people in your corner who will help you deal. You are protected while you process this. So you've got these safeties surrounding you while you can go into yourself and pull out all of these 10 swords. Libra, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is Justice. And you didn't get this card last week, but you did get this card from another deck the week before. So I always find it interesting when we get repeated cards like that. Justice, as I said a couple weeks ago, is a very Libra-oriented or Libra-aligned card. So you're being brought back into alignment with yourself, with your values, with your sense of moral duty, doing what you feel is right, what fits with your morals, with your ethics, with what you believe to be right versus wrong. That is not always black and white. And this upright justice energy is, I was going to say Libra card. This upright justice energy brings a sense of understanding that other people's right may not be your right, but knowing that you need to do what is right for you in order to be true to yourself. Now, the oracle card that comes along with this is the humanoid. And as you are connecting to these values and recognizing what needs to be done and putting in the effort in doing the work, you are reminded that you are a person. You are more than just a humanoid. You are human and you have needs. So this is a reminder this week, as you are balancing everything that needs to get done, make sure you are also balancing your own self-care. Meet all of those basic needs at the minimum. Make sure your needs are being met. Not talking wants. Wants can be added on top. Sometimes there's a little crossover, but prioritize what needs to get done, not only in the grand scheme, but for yourself. Scorpio, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Six of Cups. You're doing some emotional reflecting over this next week. You are connecting a little bit more to your feelings, not necessarily your present feelings. The Six of Cups is I find it a very memory-oriented card. So it's like you're going into yourself and you're getting back in touch with memories of experiences and emotional connections that might not really be relevant in your life now. But there is a sense of seeing how your past has impacted your future and seeing how these emotional experiences have developed you as a person and led you to the person that you are today. The Six of Cups can also be a family-oriented energy, so connecting with younger members of the family and passing on some sort of knowledge or like sharing stories. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Fae. And with this card, you are being advised to not stay too trapped in the past. This is a reminder that all things need to move forward and that we need to sometimes shed our skin and adapt with it. So if you are finding yourself so caught in past memories and ideals and experiences that you went through years ago that really aren't relevant to what's happening to you now, then you're being asked to try and let go of this. Experience it, have gratitude for it, for what it gave you, what it taught you, what it did for the person that you are now, and then release it. Because if it's not relevant, if it doesn't fit, you don't need to keep it anymore. Sagittarius, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the reversed Knight of Pentacles. So you're a little ungrounded over this next week, Sagittarius, and your manifestation isn't what you had expected or isn't where you had wanted it to be by now. The Knight of Pentacles is a slow and steady growth card and a protective, boundary-oriented energy, and when it's reversed, there is a risk, Sagittarius, that you have let your boundaries slide, and other people are starting to take advantage of your energy, which is leaving you drained and impeding your growth, getting in the way of that manifestation, and making it so that you are feeling just unrooted, ungrounded, and at worst unsupported. There's this pushing away energy of like isolating yourself and not wanting anybody around you, because what if they're taking advantage of you, even if they're not? So not the most grounded or stable week. Actively grounding your energy can help with this a bit, but just try not to make any rash decisions based off of this lack of movement. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Fighter, which is asking that you You push a little bit. You do what needs to be done for yourself, but not with unnecessary aggression or with hate or anything like that. This is assertiveness and reinforcing your boundaries again with kindness and respect, but kindness and respect for yourself. It's not about being good to yourself by beating other people up or by beating yourself up in order to be good to other people. There is a necessary balance here. But because the fighter is a protective energy, you're being asked to potentially face conflict in order to take care of your own needs. Have enough respect and love for yourself that you don't let anybody else take that from you. Capricorn, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the reversed Knight of Wands. The Knights reversed are always a little bit frustrating because there's this lack of control over your own energy and just feeling wild and out of it and disconnected from yourself. And because of all of this, there is a really solid risk of burnout, of driving yourself so far forward in no particular direction because it's almost as though you've lost your way, that you just crash and you end up lost in the middle of some unknown highway, deserted with nobody around to help you and no service on your phone to call for help. So there's a big warning with the reversed Knight of Wands, especially when it comes to impulsive actions. Make sure that you are channeling the most impulse control that you possibly can, Capricorn, because it is really easy to make decisions that will take you out of the frying pan and into the fire. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Cleric. And you're being asked to connect to your spiritual self in order to get the help that you need. If you are feeling really ungrounded and flighty and all over the place, then connect to your spiritual self. Usually breathing for me is my fastest way. A couple of deep breaths will usually start the grounding process, and then I can do the rest myself. So something like that, finding a connection to your spiritual self, reminding yourself that it is there so that you can realign with it, will kind of help to temper this reversed Knight of Wands energy. The Cleric is also a helper energy, so you're being asked to see what you can do to benefit everyone, not just necessarily yourself, not just necessarily somebody else, but balancing what is best for everyone and what is best for you and what is best for the world as a whole. You're connecting to this peaceful, healing energy, but it is important that you channel this inward as well. Aquarius, your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021, is the Queen of Wands. You are connecting really beautifully to your energy in general, to your life force, to your passion for life and your creativity and your existence in this world. You are connecting to the world around you. Your social self is kind of waking up and warming up, and you're feeling a lot more affectionate, a lot more open to people, a lot more willing to connect to feelings of happiness. There may even be, this is a potential like soft risk. There may be this sense of almost avoiding the negatives, so or setting them aside at least, so that you can focus a little bit more on the positives. And that's great, as long as you're not pushing aside work that needs to get done or things that need attention for too long, because those will eventually come back into the foreground and shake things up on their own. So this Queen of Wands energy is very healthy, very positive, very socially and family oriented. So you're connecting to the world again and connecting to yourself and your inspiration, your passion. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Artificer reversed. And this reversal, it's an interesting one because the Artificer is a creator, and when it's reversed, it's asking you to deconstruct some things that you have built up in your life. Or it's just a heads up to pay attention to the things that may not be working. So when I said that you're risking not paying attention to that and just kind of pushing it aside, instead of doing that, you can connect to your creativity and either reshape this into something that better suits who you are and the person that you are becoming, realigning with your values and your sense of self. Or to actually deconstruct what isn't working and leave it behind, period. Use the fire of the Queen of Wands and burn it away. You don't need it anymore. Pisces, so this one counts for me as well. Your tarot card for the week of March 28th to April 3rd, 2021 is the Four of Cups. And this one, especially for Pisces, not so great, because it is stagnation, stagnant water. Super fun for us fish, right? There is a really big risk over this next week of kind of not necessarily disconnecting from your emotions, but disconnecting from the flow of your emotions and focusing only on the things that aren't moving, the things that already happened, the things that aren't really going anywhere in your life. You're dwelling, wallowing in this sense of, well, what if things change? What if things do get better? And there are real, beautiful, potential opportunities waiting for you, but because you're sitting there focusing on the maybes or the what ifs or what already happened, or what didn't happen, because your focus is in this, you're not able to see the open door with all of the rewards on the other side of the threshold. You're not able to cross over and take those rewards because your attention is on what's blah. The oracle card that comes along with this is the Fae reversed. And when the Fae is reversed, this actually connects to the water element. So you're being asked to freshen up any stagnant energy. So literally the reversed Fae is asking that you do something with these 4 cups. Like, you take the 3 cups that are full of boring, stagnant, dull water that's been sitting there for days, months, years, lifetimes, and you dump them out so that you can have the fresh, clear, revitalizing water in the 4th cup that is finally being offered to you. But you have to get those other 3 cups out of the way to take it. So the Fae asks that you adapt, that you wash yourself clean and clear of whatever it is that's been keeping you feeling so gross and mucky and stuck in the mud. Some of the advice that comes along with this is actually to connect to water physically. Take a bath, go out to the ocean if you can, stand in the shower and just picture it washing all of it, everything that is stuck to you away. But freshen up, Pisces, because there is good stuff coming, but you have to be open to it to accept it. At the end of my phone and video readings, I like to pull a card from my favorite manifestation, affirmation, motivation deck, the Super Attractor. So I have pulled 1 card for everyone who joins me for this video, just to give us an idea of what to carry within ourselves over the coming week. So the card that I have pulled for the collective says, "The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love." The universe powerfully responds the instant I realign with love. So to me, this is just a reminder that when we are focused on love and loving feelings, rather than hatred, resentment, unhappiness, the universe is a lot more likely to align with what we want, with our values. When we are sitting in resentment and in that pit of anger and hatred or ill wishes, we're probably not fully aligned with our values, with our moral energy, with what is best for us. So when we're able to shift that in any direction, focusing on love, this does not mean focusing on love for the person who hurt you or for the situation that went bad, but focusing on love for yourself, for something else. Focusing on love, period. The universe will align and help guide you, put you back in the groove towards what you want. Now, this is just what this card says to me. These cards can be a little bit personal. So what this says to me might not be the same as what it says to you. And if you feel like sharing, I would love to know what this card says to you down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this look at the week ahead. I hope that the readings in this video have been resonant and that they can provide a helpful, relevant compass to offer insight, clarity, guidance, whatever it is that you need to get through the energy of the coming week. Please like the video if it resonated with you, if it's saying to your soul, and let me know in the comments what you thought of the cards that were pulled for your sign or your signs, what you thought of the super attractor at the very end, and what you'd like to see in the future. I upload weekly card readings like this and monthly ones as well, and I've got a couple of guided meditations up as well. So make sure you check those out. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. I upload all of these different videos and I've got all sorts of things coming, so make sure that you are subscribed to stay a part of this journey with me. I will also leave a link to my Facebook page in the description below so that if you ever want to book a reading of your own or ask any questions, it's super easy to get in touch with me over there. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic week. Be good to yourself.